Hi friends, happy Tuesday. Welcome into Tuesday Throwdown Christmas in July edition. If you're new here, thanks so much for joining me. My name is Jen Buck and I am the owner designer of Craft What Matters and a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 20 years. And I'm just going to make sure we are in the right place and things are looking good. So if you're new, we do Tuesday Throwdown every week at 2 p.m. Eastern, and we just kind of throw together a card together. Throw together a card together? You know what I mean, right? Throw together a card, and we're going to do that today. I'm actually just freaking out a little bit because I lost a piece that I need, but I think I have another one here, so we should be good. Anyway. So I thought it'd be fun for the month of July. We'll do Tuesday Throwdown will be Christmas in July themed because every year I say I'm going to do my Christmas in July or my Christmas cards in July, and it never happens. And it needs to happen because otherwise it ends up being too crazy at the holiday time that I get so stressed about the Christmas cards, and we don't want that. So we're going to do some Christmas cards today featuring the new stitched, I forget what the actual name of it. The bundle is Stitched Stocking. So we're going to do a couple of cards. Well, I'm going to do one live and I'll show you a couple of others that I've made with this one. And because I'm crazy, because there's a lot of die cutting for this one, but if you place an order this week before Sunday, I will send you the 3 card kits for these projects. So that should be fun. I haven't done that in a while. So it's kind of like a mini card class, but not really because I'm only doing one of the cards live. It's just a really fun stamp set. I will admit quilting and stitching and all that kind of stuff is not my forte. So I struggled a little bit, but once I got into it, it was actually a really fun suite of products to play with. And so actually, I don't even think I mentioned, these are all products that are part of the Christmas in July collection. So a couple things to note. We do have a few Christmas product in the July online exclusives that just launched last week. So you can go check those out in the online store, including this suite. And then our August through our September through December catalog is going to be our holiday catalog. So I will actually be taking signups for that catalog if you want to get one in the mail later this month. So make sure you're on my email list so that you can get the notification to join that sign up, because I do require you to sign up for it. It's free. I will send it to you, but I just need to have you opt in to begin with. So that will be coming later this month. So watch for that. Also, if you're local to Cape Cod, Massachusetts, I'm going to be hosting some holiday card classes August, September, October, and November. So starting next month. So make sure you're on my email list for that as well, because I'll give you dates and details. I don't have the dates quite finalized yet, but I'll have those for you shortly. And so you don't want to miss out on that either, so that you can get your Christmas cards done ahead of time, right? That's the whole goal. I'm going to do it this year too. Okay. I say this every year, but I need to do it. So let's go ahead and take a look at this collection. Let me turn this around and we will take a look at this. So like I said, this is brand new. It was part of the July online exclusive. So let's just take a peek at this. So it's called the Stitch Stocking Bundle. You can see it's kind of like a quilting inspired bundle. Super fun. You've got like some stitching stamps. You've got like all these little stamps here that you can build together to make like a stitched or a quilted look. Same with these. And then sentiments to go along with it. I think the dies are the real showstopper. Look at these. So we've got a cute little stocking, some quilted pieces, some little detail dies here, some sentiment dies. And these are kind of cool. And this is what I played with a lot today, was the squares that cut out 2 for this little flag type quilt style, and then the open. So you can see you've got like little mini squares, right? And then you've got if I can pick them up, you've got one that's got like the little piece out. Then you've got one that's halves, so you could do half pieces. And then you've got the one that is like the 4 pieces. And so you could die cut them out of anything. I just die cut them out of white, just to kind of show you how that works. The other cool part about this bundle is the paper. So I'm only showing you front sides. It is 12 by 12. So you've got the one side that's kind of bold and quilt-like, right? So here you go. We've got some cardinals and blue jays, or tufted titmouse, depending on how you want to look at that bird. Then you've got some cute little trees, this cute little like quilted patchwork pattern, and then this was really kind of a traditional quilt look. And then you've got this piece, which I've cut. This is all I have left of this one. So there's that. And then on the back side, you've got some just basic holiday sort of prints, right? So you've got holly, you've got snowflakes, you've got the plaid, you've got polka dot kind of vibe, flowers, candy canes, and so you've got some basic patterns and then the bold quilting patterns as well. So I think this is going to work for regardless what style of cards you want to make. So that's kind of fun too. And then for the ribbon or the embellishments, we've got a stitched cherry cobbler ribbon that goes with this collection. And then you also have these cute little buttons that have a little bit of glitter around the edges. I don't know if you can see that, but these are really fun. I like these a lot. And these will work for all sorts of projects. So let's go ahead and let me show you the couple of cards I've already done. So like I said, if you place an order this week, I will send you the card kits for these. And I will admit that I was struggling a little bit to make these happen. But I think they came out cute once I kind of got into a rhythm and a routine. So this is the first one I made. It's got that cute little tree stitched piece here with the little button and a cute little cheers. And then this is the second one I made, which I love. Super cute, right? Using the stocking dies and everything. Little holly and berries, the ribbon. The only thing I didn't use on this one, which I guess I could put in the middle here if I wanted to, was a button. But I kind of left it simple. And then we're going to make one more together, which I actually kind of borrowed from the Stampin' Up! Website because I wanted it to be very quilty, but I was kind of struggling with how to do that. So the colors in this collection are Peaceful Pine, which I don't have any more of this color, or I would make my base color for this next card this, but I don't have any. Cherry Cobbler, the Pecan Pie, Old Olive, Secret Sea, and then Basic White, right? So I'm going to use a basic white base for this, and then we're going to put together a little quilted card. So let me just pull this apart so I know how everything goes. And then we'll get together this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to just start with a base piece here. This is, if I remember correctly, I think it's 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 by 4 3/4. So 3 5/8 by 4 3/4. And we're going to use this just kind of as our building piece. I'm actually just trimming off some stuff. It looks like it's time for me to change my blade again because it's getting a little wonky. All right, so we're going to do that. I hope you guys all had a good 4th of July celebration. You may have saw in my post earlier, we had a little bit of a scare with the dog. Little Shelby Lou got stung by probably 10 or 11 bees. We didn't really realize that until she had been stung probably an hour or so before we noticed, but her eye swelled up. Her eyelid on one side was like super big, and I was like, what is going on? But we were swimming at the pond, and so her head was in and out of the water, and I think that kept all the swelling down. And then when we got home, we realized that she had been stung a bunch of times. So we think she had kind of wandered into, like, I don't know if the nest was down or what, but she kind of wandered into it and probably nudged something she wasn't supposed to, and that was how she got stung so many times. So yeah, poor little baby. She was a little sore, I think, for a bit, but she's doing much better, thankfully. All right, so I'm just kind of putting these together the way I think it's going to go. So as you can see, I kind of cut a bunch of these little squares from the die cuts. So it's the big solid square and some of the half squares using the die cuts and the patterned paper. And so we're going to just layer those onto here. So let's just do that. And I think my paper might be a little bigger than I need, but we're going to just go ahead and kind of layer these together nice and close. And I'll trim off any excess. So it might not be relevant, the size I told you a second ago, but we'll see. All right, so then I'm going to just do this. So again, I just kind of cut these from the pattern paper. And then we're going to do, here, let me move these out of the way a little bit. They're kind of in the way, so you can't see. All right. Anybody have any fun? We really didn't do much at all for the holiday weekend. We kind of purposely chose to be a little bit low key, which was actually really nice. I mean, it was a little hot, so I really didn't get to come into my craft room very often because it was just too hot. It gets really, really warm in here on any day, but when it's hot outside, it's even worse. It's converted attic space, so it feels like an attic when it's hot outside. So I did a lot of reading. We went to the pond a couple of days. We go to the Rotting Gun Club where Nate's a member because we can go to the pond for free, and it's really, really quiet. Like there's nobody there. So that's really nice. And then the dog can run around, and she loves to swim. So I just felt so bad for my poor baby. Little nugget. All right. Hopefully you guys can all hear me because I don't see any comments. So if you're watching and everything's good, please let me know because I see there's people watching, but I don't see any comments. So that always makes me worried. All right. So I'm just going to keep attaching these. And you can see I've got a little bit of a excess here, but we're going to just cut that off afterwards. I'd rather have too big of a piece than not enough. So I will trim this down once I got these together. And I will say that this card was completely inspired by the Stampin' Up website. They have this card on the shopping site. So if you don't ever use that as inspiration, you definitely should because there's some really great card ideas on there with the bundles, like the bundle pictures or the suite pictures. So I stole that right from online. All right, so I'm going to just cut this off. Oh yeah, I need a new blade. Let's cut this and then I'll replace the blade too. Oh, there you go. All right, I'm going to have to clean that up a little bit because it got snaggy. Little snaggle tooth going on there. All right, and then I'm going to replace my blade because it just needs to be fixed. The other thing I'll do too, which I'll show you, we'll take a little intermission here. The other thing which is good to do is to go ahead and clean out your track every once in a while. Honestly, I can see that it's not super clogged, so I don't think that's the problem. I think it's just because I have been using my trimmer a lot, so it's just very well loved. So let's go ahead and replace that. So there's a wider section down here of your trimmer. So you're just going to bring it to that section and pop it out. And then you want to put the new one in the same spot. So I'm going to go ahead and pop out one of these guys. And then you kind of pop it in the same spot, that widened part. Make sure it's sliding, which it is. Oops, it's a little bit up. There we go. All right, so hopefully that will cut better now. All right, so now we have this, right? And then I'm going to do these two kind of down here. Do I have any quilters in the room? Anybody watching on replay or live that loves to quilt? Because I think this would be an amazing collection for you because you already have the know-how and the pattern knowledge for quilting, where I don't have that knowledge. So sometimes I'm looking at some of those dies and going, where would I use this? How would this work, right? But you will already have that. So that's a great advantage. All right, so should we put this on the blue? Oh, I gotta clean those edges up some more. Or should I put it on the white? Oh, I kind of like the blue, right? What do you guys think? Blue or white for the base? I'm gonna stamp a sentiment as well, but I'm gonna clean this up while you guys decide. I still haven't seen any comments, so hopefully you're all still with me. Give me some input. What would you like me to use for my card base? Blue, the Secret Sea, which is one of my favorites lately, or the white. So here's the white. Kind of crisp and clean if you like that one. Or we got the blue, which kind of pulls out the blue in this one here. What do you think? Anyone? Bueller? I hope this is working because nobody's commenting. I can see that people are watching, but nobody's commenting, which makes me nervous. All right, so I have this die cut label here, and we're going to stamp something on that. So, whoops. Let me grab I'm going to actually just quickly undo my volume so I can see if the volume is working. Let me grab. Yep, it is. Okay. So this is the stamp set. So these are our sentiment options. I might do May All Your Days Be Merry and Bright. That fits nicely right in the middle of that. And I want to leave a little room because we're going to decorate the edges. So I think I'm going to do that. The other thing I wanted to share with you too is if you have the old stylish shapes dies, these coordinate nicely with it. It's got the squares, like the square shapes. So those are nice to have too. I used that on one of my cards in the previous one. I think those are still live. I don't even know. We get new products so often now that it's hard to keep up, but I love that we get new inspiration so regularly. All right, so we're going to do May All Your Days Be Merry and Bright. And you haven't commented at all. So I'm going to make the decision, and I'm going to do the navy. And we'll do the sentiment in navy as well. Or not navy, I'm sorry, Secret Sea. I think I actually use this more than navy, which Night of Navy was always one of my favorites. But this Secret Sea color is just really, really pretty. All right, so I'm going to just go ahead, put that here. Stamp that. So it's kind of like not traditional colors, but traditional colors. So it's kind of unique that way. But there we have that. And I'll probably pop that up and give it a little bit of oomph, right? And then we want to do a little bit of decorating as well. So let's grab a little piece of ribbon. We'll do a little ribbon piece on the bottom here. I'm going to use my scissors, my ribbon scissors. It's a little long. I'm going to cut it down a little bit. And then actually I'm going to do this way. All right. And then I'll stick that kind of right here. Right. And then we can pop this up on top. I might move it down a little bit. Like that. Okay, so let me grab some mini glue dots. I think that's going to be the easiest way to put this on. So I'm just going to put the ribbon right on top of the glue dot. And then, I cut my nail, see, because it was all snaggly. So now I don't have any nails. So we got one. And then I'm going to do, probably only need two. So I'll put one on the other side. And then we'll take that off. Try not to let it fold over on itself. Okay, and then I'm going to just put that right down here. Attach that. Okay, it's a little crooked, but it'll be fine. I'm going to add some dimensionals to this one. We're going to pop that up. I'm going to do 4, but I'm going to kind of space them out a little bit. Take those off. And we'll pop this. Oops, I forgot this bottom layer wasn't attached. I'm going to pop that like right here. Okay, let's go ahead and attach this panel with dimensionals as well. Just gives it a little bit of lift. You know, I love my dimensionals. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go a little crazy. There we go. Don't want any sagging when you send your cards, so let's do that. You guys are super quiet today. I'm going to actually see. Let me just go out of this really quick and see if it's just because I'm not seeing. Sometimes when I come into the live before you guys do, it won't let me see. Nope, still showing no comments. Oh, nope, there they are. I was going to say, you guys usually chat with me. Hello, my friends. Sorry about that. Thanks for joining me. All right, so let's make sure my card is opened the right way. I'm going to stick this on here. I wonder if I picked the right color. Let me scroll back. Did you guys say blue? Blue, blue, blue. Oh, white, blue. Most of you did blue, so that's good. All right. So I'm glad I made the right decision. See, we're all on the same design wavelength. All right, so next I'm gonna actually, well, I pre-die cut some little holly to kind of put in the corner here and some berries. So let's attach those. I'm just gonna use my liquid glue. Actually, I'm gonna use liquid glue on this side. And then I'm gonna put a little mini dimensional on the other side to make sure they kind of even out with the raised sentiment. All right, so whoops, I almost put that dimensional backing in my chai. That would not be good. Yes, I'm still drinking my chai from this morning. All right, put that there. Okay, and then I have these little mini berries. I'm multitasking here, holding that one in place. And putting glue on this one. Now this will be the trick for me to pick this up. There we go. Let's do, actually, I'm going to do like that. Okay. Looks like Mickey Mouse head, actually. All right, so we've got that. And then I'm going to use the paper and cut a little cardinal out of this. So let's just trim this down. And again, this idea came direct from Stampin' Up. It's one of my best tips for you when you're stuck on a design is to copy the website, copy the catalog. It's the best way to come up with new ideas or just to kind of get the juices going, right? They have some really cute cards with this collection. All right, so I'm just going to fussy cut this guy. He's kind of simple to cut. Okay. There's a lot of other fun new goodies in the online exclusives too. There is a few Christmassy stuff. This is the only paper this time around, which is surprising. But don't forget, we do have a whole Christmas or holiday kind of themed catalog coming out later this year. But I usually like to get a head start on things. So, but it's not just Christmas. There's some summer stamp sets. There's some other fun stuff in the online exclusives. I didn't get as much of that because I spent so much in the in the holiday catalog. I mean, in the main catalog this year. The May catalog, I should say. It's not really the main one anymore. Because we get 4 a year. All right. Let's attach this. Oop. Oh, he's kind of hanging off a little bit. Hold on. I'm going to use my adhesive scissors. That's what that little identifier is for. There we go. That was hanging off, so I just want to make sure we don't see. Well, I did not do a very good job. I just want to take that part off. There we go. Okay. Now we can put him here. Did I take the backing off? I did. Goodness gracious. All right. There's that. Okay. So there's that. And then let's add some of these little buttons on here. I think Stampin' Up! Did I guess I'll do the white ones. I've been using a lot of the white ones, but they are really cute. All right, so let's go ahead and add a couple of these. Come on. We'll put one up here, one kind of tucked under here, like that, and then maybe one over here, like that. And there you have your cute little card, right? It's a super fun set. Like I said, it takes a little bit of getting used to, especially if you're not a quilter by nature. I feel like you need a little bit of playtime to figure it out, but it does make some really fun and unique cards. I think maybe sticking to some more simpler patterns like this one would be good if you're going to mass produce something. But if you've got some special people on your list, or if you're like a quilter, then it might be fun to kind of start putting together some of these really cute, more elaborate kind of stuff, but they're really fun to play with. So what do you think? Yay or nay on this guy? Do you like this collection? It's really sweet. Like I said, it's the only full collection, holiday collection in the online exclusives, but we got another catalog coming. So definitely worth kind of checking out. I will have some more holiday card options throughout the month. We're going to do Christmas in July. So every Tuesday for Teach Me Tuesday this month, we're going to be doing Christmas cards. I have a couple more Christmas sets headed my way from the online exclusives. So I will be sharing more, but I wanted to share this collection in its whole with you today. We might see this bundle come back later in the month. I'm not sure. We'll see. Depends on how much fun I have with the others. We've got a poinsettia set on the way, and I forget what else I got. So I love to kind of play with Christmas in July. It feels a little less stressed, of course. And like I said, watch later this week or later this month for the sign up for the holiday catalog, which starts in September. So I'll be taking signups for that this month. So watch the email for that, and then also watch for holiday card class dates if you want to join me here on the Cape for some holiday card classes. Those will start in August, and we'll do one a month from August through November. So just if you want details on either of those things, make sure you're on my email list. I'll pop the link in the description of this video, and then I will see you back next week for another edition of Tuesday Throwdown Christmas in July. All right, my friends, have a great week, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.